ガオガオ食べちゃう Hi everyone! Nice to see you all. Today is a free chat day. People have been asking me, why don't you just do a free chat? But of course I had to have a topic. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Before all that, before I get into today's topic, I want to know how you are doing, chat. I have personally had a little bit of a frustrating day. I don't want to say it a bad day, but it's been a frustrating day. There's some new issues with the game that I did not foresee. Me and the programmer are trying so hard to try and lessen lag. There's like something to do with the blur. I don't really know. I'm not an expert. We're trying very, very hard to make it better. So that's just very frustrating. And also, I have bills to pay. And yesterday, of course, I had to buy myself a nice lunch. And now I don't have money for bills. But that's fine! I'm working on commissions right now. In fact, I spent like several hours today working on commissions. So as soon as this current batch is done, then the new batch will open up if you want a slot. But I've just been working very hard on the game. I've been working very hard on commissions, and I don't know, it seems like there's a lot of demands for a little bear. I am just as a maid today, as you can see, and I will explain why in a little bit. Hello, Frankie! Dang it, I didn't catch up on Murder Jones before now. I did catch up on Kumakko's The Amazing Digital Circus fanfiction. I'm glad you read it. I'm no RenP expert, but did you try saving all the game assets as WEBP instead of .png? Or is the lag caused by something other than images? I don't know what is causing the lag. To me, it runs perfectly. It runs perfectly on my PC, but some of the testers have reported that there's a lag on their PC, and I think that's a hardware issue, something to do with their driver, or something to do with their hardware. Maybe they don't have enough RAM, I don't know. But also it's a visual novel, so it shouldn't be very heavy to run. It should be very lightweight, you know? But at this point, we're considering just manually blurring the backgrounds ourselves instead of having it to be a fancy effect. I don't know. I hope it looks good. But the most important thing is that it runs and functions on everybody's PCs. Fumi-san! 聞いてくれてありがとう! おはよう! 今は朝だよね。日本に。おはよう! 今日は雑談だよ。今日は海外のアニメ、マーダードローンズ。海外のアニメの雑談だよ。マーダードローンズはサイエンスフィクションの、なんていうかアンドロイド。この主人公はこのゴシックロリータのアンドロイドちゃん。ウジちゃんのウジちゃんの敵は N 君は、タイトル通り、マーダードローンズ人殺しドローンズ人殺しアンドロイドでも N 君はね本当に優しい子だ、N 君とウジちゃんは二人きりはちょっとカップルになっちゃうよ、でもN 君の妹は、壊れちゃったアンドロイドしんちゃんは僕の一番大好きなキャラなんだけど、しんちゃんは N 君のこと大好きなんだけどとってもやきもちな子だよ。しんちゃんは他の女の子とか他の人間とか、アンドロイドとか N ちゃんと一緒に話してるはちょっと奪うかなと考えた。だからしんちゃんはちょっとだけヤンデレっぽいなキャラになるよ。でもしんちゃんは、最初から本当にいい子だった。 でももっともっとやきもちになったらもっともっとの兄ちゃん、もっと守りたいだから、私はじゃなくて私はの兄ちゃんがいなければ誰よりも奪わないよ、そういうの感じ。しんちゃんはすっごく面白い子。ヤンデレ妹しんちゃん、そして優しいお兄ちゃんくん、本当にいいアニメだった。Let's see. I should talk a little bit about the maid uniform, shouldn't I? I will pass on your knowledge, Frankie. I don't know what the game assets are saved at. Like they're PNG. I'm pretty sure it's PNG. But I am not the expert. I went to a singles night event and the first person I run into was a girl who rejected me. No! Just ignore her. Move on. Ignore her. Move on. Plenty of other people. But anyway, as I was saying, let me explain the maid uniform, okay? So today we are talking about Murder Drones. It is a animated series by Glitch Productions. It came out like the series finale came out last year, but I just started watching it. And I marathoned it. I watched the whole thing like 3 times now, and it's very good. It's about this girl named Uzi. She is a robot. Everybody is a robot. Okay, they're not on Earth. They're on a different planet called Copper Night. Uzi is a robot, and she's gothic and emo and like angsty teenager, right? And she has to stay underground with the rest of her kind because on the surface of the planet there are murder drones who eat. They eat the worker drones. The murder drones eat the worker drones. But Uzi is a teenager, and so she goes out to be rebellious and goes out into the surface anyway. And she runs into N. And N is a murder drone. But he gets reset, and he kind of gets his senses knocked back into him. He becomes more of himself, more of a good person, a sweet boy. And N doesn't realize that Uzi is a worker drone, and they kind of work together a little bit. But then N gets his memory back after like briefly short-circuiting, and he realizes that Uzi is actually a worker drone, not a murder drone. So he realizes that the worker drones aren't so different from the murder drones, and that maybe they should get along and stop killing each other. And yet I say that, but N still has to eat. He has to eat worker drones for sustenance. He needs their oil and like their blood for sustenance, kind of like a vampire. And N decides that he's going to take the sides of the worker drone despite the fact that he still has to eat them, so they can hopefully get along together. And Uzi decides that it's all the fault of the humans who must have reset them. And she wants to go to Earth to kill all the humans. And that's basically the plot of episode 1. But, N ends up defecting away from the murder drones and ends up teaming up with Uzi. And they end up, well, there's gonna be spoilers, okay? There's gonna be spoilers here. So if you haven't seen it, then go away. Or if you don't mind spoilers, then you can stay. But N, as a murder drone, has something wrong with his programming, right? And Uzi, who's a worker drone, doesn't really understand N's objective and the objective of all the murder drones. And there's secrets and lore and bugs and secret conspiracies and flashbacks and secret backstories and all that stuff. And it's really good, but I want to talk about my favorite character. Now, back to the maid uniform. Speaking of secret backstories, there's a whole portion of the series where many of the androids, or the robots, the worker drones, whatever you want to call them, they wear butler uniforms and maid uniforms, so N in the beginning is a butler. Yeah, but Uzi was never a maid. She was never a maid. But N used to live with humans, and he was a butler. And N had a little sister! Even though the robots don't question it, they don't, like, share blood or anything, whatever, who cares. But N has a little sister! And she is named Sin! Look how cute she is! Look how cute, look how adorable. She's got this cute little maid outfit on. She's so cute. She's so cute. She's my favorite character. Sin is just a good little girl who's never done anything wrong in her entire life ever. Robot Moto? Yes, that is Sin-chan. Sin-chan is a good girl. I feel like I'm doing a really bad job of explaining, but here is Sin and her big brother, N. Sin and N. And together, they work in this big mansion before they became murder drones. They worked together at this big mansion serving humans. Sin was a maid, and N was a butler, and here you can see them pouring drinks and whatever. And Sin-chan is a little broken. She's got a corrupt system. She's got a corrupt OS. She's got a bug in her system. She's got a virus. And that makes the other robots not like her. They don't like her. They think she's creepy, which is mean. I don't think she deserves I don't think she deserves to be, like, ridiculed for maybe being a little creepy. I mean, it's not her fault. It's not her fault that she's, like, a little creepy and malfunctioning a bit. How is that her fault, you know? So she malfunctioned a lot, and she doesn't quite understand emotions. By the way, I didn't mention this, but all the robots can feel emotion and pain and all that kind of stuff. They can die and they can cry and all that stuff. But except they eat oil. They don't eat human food, they eat oil. But yeah, aside from that. But Sin-chan is malfunctioning all the time. She is malfunctioning all the time, and she doesn't quite get the hang of emotions. So she'll say, like, angry face or sad face. Stuff like that. She doesn't quite understand how to express emotions properly. And everybody avoids her because of this except for her big brother, N. N is a good boy who takes care of his little sister. And, like, how should I say this? Well, I'm just gonna go majorly into spoilers, okay? I'm sorry. If you don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch it, okay? Don't watch this stream, okay? Go watch Murder Drones. But anyway, so N is a good boy who takes care of Sin. He protects her and he keeps her company. Sin is lonely. She wants to go to dances and balls and meet people and humans. But instead, the other robots avoid her, and her master, I guess her mistress, is a girl named Tessa. It's an Australian girl. She's like an ojo-sama, a rich girl in a big mansion. And Tessa, for some reason, despite saving Sin and N and all of the other robots from the dumpster and resetting them and putting them to work as maids and butlers, what happens is Tessa ends up not liking Sin and ends up locking her away in the basement. That's not nice. That's abuse. That's not nice at all. That's not how you should treat your robot immortal maid. No! I doubt there's anything freaky going on here, but it'd be funny if there was. They're not... Well, I'll kind of explain a little bit as we get further along. But, basically, Sin has nobody in the world except for her big brother, N. And Sin is like, Oni-chan, I want to go to the gala. I want to go to the dance. And N is like, I'm sorry. The humans don't like robots. We can't go. You know, we'll just stay here and you and me will watch movies together. But Sin is disappointed that she doesn't get to go to the dance with her Oni-chan. And so N finally says, okay, we will ask the humans if we are permitted to go to the ball. And so they kind of break in. Hold on, let me pull up the next picture. She is so cute, I love her so much. Let me pull up the next picture. I have like a whole slideshow prepared. Okay, so here they kind of sneak into the ball. They sneak in. So you have little Sin-chan. Let me move slightly so you can see it better. So you have little Sin-chan, and she is clinging to her Oni-chan. And they kind of sneak into the ball, even though they're not supposed to. They sneak into the dance, the human dance. And there's like some definite favoritism, okay? The humans love N, okay? Tessa, the mistress, the rich girl, loves N. But when she sees Sin, she's like, oh, you're here. And turns out that she is the one who locked Sin into the basement, not just the other robots. Tessa also locks Sin into the basement, which is not nice. That mistreatment. And then it's like, what do you mean you guys lock her up? What? She's a good girl. She wouldn't do anything deserving of this. Why would you do this? And then Tessa's mean parents come along, and her parents are like, robots suck. We hate them. We're gonna throw them away back into the dump. And N comes to Sin's rescue and says, oh, no, Sin didn't do anything wrong. It was all me. You know, punish me instead of her. And he does end up getting punished instead of her. The Moto dungeon. I guess so, huh? He ends up getting punished instead of her. He gets tied up and left for dead in the woods. But anyway, he breaks free. He gets back to the mansion. At which point, Tessa, Sin, and all the other robots have been banished to Tessa's room. And as punishment, all of the robots are going to be dismantled. This is really Tessa's parents' fault, but Tessa's like not exactly a very good owner either. You know, she doesn't treat her little Imoto bot, her little Oni-chan bot, she doesn't treat them very nicely, you know? I mean, she spoils N, but she like locks up Sin, so that's not cool either. But Sin, I don't want to spoil it too much, but Sin is like so blatantly in love with N. It turns out that Sin has been doing experiments in the basement where she's been locked up. She's been doing experiments to figure out how to turn gentle little server robots like themselves into murder drones. She wants to turn them into murder drones so she can kill the humans and get revenge. Totally justified and reasonable, by the way. Completely justified and reasonable. Sin at first is gonna spare Tessa. She says, okay, I'm gonna go kill everybody in the gala, but except for you, Tessa, I will spare you. Because you kind of found me out of the dump and you rescued me. I will spare you, Tessa, but I'm not gonna spare anybody else. So Sin goes to get revenge on all the humans at the ball. And N goes after her to try and stop her. Hello, Ichitsu! I am in the middle of a thrilling retelling of Murder Drones. It is very spoilery, so if you have not seen Murder Drones, you maybe don't want to watch it. But anyway, turns out Sin has been experimenting on N. She's been rebooting his memories and experimenting on him, giving him like knives and stuff and wings and stuff to make him want to eat humans and drones alike. For revenge? Question mark, I guess. Maybe also curiosity. Maybe also because she's like super yandere towards him. She's like, nobody else can have N except for me. But then she also kind of wants to eat him. So it's like kind of confusing. Hello, Crypto. Hi. I am like telling you the most confusing retelling of Murder Drones. I am only focusing on the robot incest. I'm not talking about any other part of the plot. I'm only talking about the robot incest. But Sin is so blatantly in love with N. She wants to be the only one who can have him. Nobody else. She gets very jealous if anybody comes towards her Oni-chan. I mean, look how freaking cute she is. Hold on, I have another picture. I have so many pictures. Hold on. Look how freaking cute she is. No, wrong one. Is this the right one? Yes, look how cute she is. Look how adorable this girl is. She's so cute. Look at her. Look at her. She's so freaking cute. She's got like silver hair and the maid uniform. She does the little heart. She's so adorable. She is the cutest and the bestest girl. But anyway, whoops, wrong, there we go. But anyway, so the point is, Sin succeeds in slaughtering all of the humans. And N gets his memories rebooted and rewritten, and he gets sent to the different planet, which is the start of the series. He gets sent to this different planet where he is a murder drone now, and he just wants to eat all the other drones and kill all the humans. Because Sin is possessed by a virus, and that virus wants to eat everything in the universe. And unfortunately, it has possessed poor little Sin-chan. It has possessed poor little Sin-chan, so that is why she is like a yandere and also wants to eat N. She loves N, but she wants to eat N. She wants to eat his heart, like his oil and stuff, his blood, because of this virus possessing her. I like the character design a lot. Low-key, I would prefer it if it was 2D animated. Yeah, but Glitch is a 3D animated company. They do 3D animation, so it can't be helped. But I'll get up another cute picture for ya. Let me move slightly to the side so you can see better. There. So you have them together. They love each other so much, and really cares about Sin, and Sin is in love with Anne. She's very yandere, but like I said, she has that virus in her that wants to eat everything, including kill Anne. So it's complicated. Hello, Stacy. Oha, hachinichi, oha. 今は海外のアニメマーダートローンズの雑談だよ。しんちゃんは、このアンドロイド妹メイと、そしてお兄ちゃんは、N 君は優しいお兄ちゃんなんだけど、まあ N 君は他のロボットと他の人間は、殺したくないけど命令だ。おはようございます。マーガリッカね。Kumakko so broke she's buying her clothes 3 sizes too big. Whoops. If you'd like to help, wink wink, nudge nudge. Where was I? I totally forgot where I was. But the point is, Sin had been doing experiments on N to make him into a murder drone. Not a normal drone, a murder drone. And he gets sent to a different planet aside from Earth, where he can do more killing and stuff, because she's possessed by this evil virus that makes her even more insane. Now you may be wondering what happened to Sin, and you may be wondering what was that picture I accidentally showed you too early. Well, we have the cute little robot Sin, right? And then she has a secret form. She ends up, well, I'm sorry, if you're here, you're just gonna have to deal with spoilers. She ends up skinning Tessa! She ends up skinning her and wearing her body like a, I don't want to say corpse, but wearing her body like a suit. She ends up wearing Tessa's corpse like a suit. You can see her hands poking out here, and you can see her eyes are poking out through the eye sockets, which are empty. And you can see the skin is not quite fitting, right? But yeah, Sin skinned her old abusive mistress, Tessa, and wears her corpse. I guess so the other robots won't suspect her of being a robot. She wants to pass as human. So that's her solution. Her solution is to wear the skin of a human. And she has these cool high heels. But like I said, the body doesn't fit right because she's actually shorter than Tessa, so it doesn't fit right. It doesn't quite fit right. So you have two different Sins. You have robot original Imoto Sin, and then you have totally yandere crazy wearing a human skin Sin. The girl in the middle. No, Sin-chan is the cutest. Sin-chan is the cutest. Let's get the other Sin up here. Let's get the other Sin picture. I want to compare. Let me bring it up. Let me bring her up. I want to show you. Isn't she just the most adorable little robot you've ever seen? Isn't she just the cutest little thing? Isn't she just so freaking adorable? She's adorable. I love her. But if it comes down to it, I prefer her robot form. You know, back when she was innocent and barely corrupted, and then she got really corrupted. Really yandere. But before that, she was just a little yandere, just a little bit. And she just wanted to, whoops, geez, I'm clicking all the wrong things. She just wanted to live in harmony with her big brother. She just wanted to watch movies and go to dances with her Oni-chan. Yeah, that's all she wanted to do. There. But I think it is a great love story in that Sin is a good girl who ended up being corrupted by this evil virus and ended up killing everybody. Not just because of the virus, but mostly because she's obsessed with N, you know? She decided that despite experimenting on N and like changing his programming, she wanted him to stay the way he was because she had such strong feelings for him. Even when she was like trying to eat him, which does happen several times, she still loves him. Like, yeah, that tracks, right? You know, if you love somebody, you want them to be a part of you forever, right? That tracks. I'd love to watch it with you guys, but it's like I might get blocked, and I cannot afford to get blocked because I already have one warning on my account. I already got a warning on my channel, so I cannot afford to get another warning. But it's on YouTube. It's also on Amazon Prime. So I strongly recommend you watch it. But the most important thing that I care about is Sin and her relationship with her Oni-chan. That's the most important thing to me, because that's the most interesting thing. I don't care about anything else about the story, really, except for these two and their dynamic together. You have the protective older brother who just wants to help his dysfunctional little sister who's never done anything wrong in her entire life, and yet she gets locked up in the basement and treated like she's defective and malfunctioning, and it's not her fault. She's a good girl. It's not her fault. And then you have the Moto who just has a morbid curiosity and maybe an urge to kill all humans because of the virus. But mostly she just wants to, you know, just a little harmless experimenting on her big brother, you know, just a little harmless, a little mass murdering adjustments to her favorite big brother. And she explicitly makes backups of him. She explicitly makes backups of him so she never loses him. Now I know what you're thinking. Kumakko, how does ecchi work? How does ecchi stuff works? Well, robots do not have genitalia, they do not have nipples or anything like that. But they do experience arousal. So, you know, fanfiction time. Fanfiction time right there, okay? That's all I can say on stream. But it's totally possible, man. Things are possible that you could only dream of in fanfiction, okay? It's possible, especially considering there's a scene where Sin is physically on top of N and pulls up his shirt, and then for lack of a better term, penetrates his body. But, instead of like in the ecchi way, she's using her fingers to dig into his chest to get the cavern, to get into the cavern of his chest, to eat his heart. Literally to eat his heart. But the point is, it's totally doable in fanfiction, and it's not entirely ruled out in canon either. I still don't understand how they reproduce, and also, if if the robots, how do they experience love? How do they experience arousal? How do they experience sorrow and fear? I don't know. It's never explained. Don't think about it too hard. But yeah, they make a wonderful couple, and apparently they're not a popular couple. I guess because they're siblings, but like they don't even share blood. They don't even share blood. Okay, they're like step siblings at the very best. They're step siblings. Like they're robots. They don't share blood. It's ridiculous. But anyway. Kuma's going to milk them. Even if it's not physically plausible. Hey, you never, robots can multiply in this world. I don't know how. I think something to do with like merging their code. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Whatever. Who cares? I want the siblings to do the do, and that's what's going to happen in my fan fiction when I get around to writing it. But essentially, it is a series with action, a little bit too much action for my taste. Action and sci-fi and lore and suspense. It goes very horror heavy. Very heavy on the horror in the last half of it. It's only 8 episodes. It's pretty short. It's a short series. You can marathon it in a single day. It's a very short series. But it's really good, and I strongly recommend it. Let's see, hold on. Glitch is releasing their second... Wait, Glitch is releasing their first 2D cartoon! Ooh! I heard about that. Something about Knights of Guinevere? Guinevere, is that correct? I didn't know that was 2D, though. I know, obviously, Glitch. They've done The Amazing Digital Circus. They've done Murder Drones. I know Gaslight District, which I have not seen yet. So they're like very, very popular, very up and coming. They have a lot of strong series. But the point is, the only thing I care about in Murder Jones is the sibling incest. I don't care about the action. I don't care about the sci-fi, or really the lore. I'm just here for the angst. But yeah, it is about Shin-chan trying to get back to her Oni-chan at all costs. And then the virus inside of her is just telling her to destroy the universe, and she doesn't want. Not really, she doesn't really want to. She just wants to be with her Oni-chan. But the virus is telling her to eat her Oni-chan. So, it's complicated. So it's not incest because they're robots. Well, they explicitly call each other big brother and little sister. Like, they explicitly call each other that. Big brother and, So, like, there's definitely a family dynamic going on. I mean, I guess it depends on how far you want to stretch the definition. I consider them siblings because it's hot. And also because they themselves, the characters, consider themselves to be siblings. So that's what I'm going off of. But yeah, like, if you want to catch up with, like, the actual story, there's, like, Uzi and En, and they're trying to get to the bottom of the mystery that Uzi is also affected by the same mysterious virus that Shin-chan has. And they want to get to the bottom of that and how to cure her of this virus, and also figure out what happened to the human, what happened to Earth, and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. Mysteries, lore, suspense, blah, blah, blah. It's really condensed and it's very rushed. I'm mostly just in it for, like, the horror and the creepiness. It gets really creepy. It's so good. But I do like the aesthetic. It's very Hot Topic. In fact, they even say Hot Topic. And of course, they have a line of stuff at Hot Topic. But it's very, like, edgy, like, very early 2000s-esque. Invader Zim kind of aesthetic. Yeah. And I don't know. It's got, like, nightcore. It's got nightcore music in it. It's got killer robots. It's got forbidden love. It's got edgy, angsty teenagers. It's got sci-fi. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. Strongly recommend it. Let me get a quick drink of water. Hold on. And didn't even get into the voice acting. The voice acting is really good. Let me pull up the picture. The voice actors, you probably know them. Uzi is voiced by the pilot voice of Charlie. This pilot, I want to say the pilot speaking voice of Charlie from Hazbin Hotel is Uzi. And then for N, he is voiced by Michael Kovac, who obviously voiced Angel Dust in Hazbin Hotel, the pilot, and also the Addict music video. So in a way, it's shipping Charlie and Angel Dust from Hazbin Hotel in another universe. And I do not know who the voice actress for Sin is. I don't know what else she has been in, but she is very good. She's very talented at sounding robotic and emotionless, and also sounding completely unhinged and a totally menhera yandere. She's very good. Voice acting is great. The animation is great, although I do kind of wish parts of it, maybe there was a 2D adaptation, that would be great. But now that I've seen it in 3D, I'm used to it in 3D. There is, however, I know that just launched a Kickstarter for a manga series. There's a manga series for Murder Jones that has a Kickstarter campaign going on right now. I can't afford it. I can't afford to back it. But I do want it to succeed, so you should probably back it if you want that to happen. I am curious how they're going to translate this series into a manga, considering it is very visual heavy. It is very voice acting heavy. You know, the voice acting is a lot of the pleasure of the series for me. The voice acting, the music. I love the music. I really want the soundtrack. They have it in 2 vinyl records, but it's expensive, but the soundtrack is very good. The voice acting is very good. The animation is good. The animation just gets better and better and better as the series goes on. I think the beginning is weak, and I think the ending is the best, honestly. I think it just gets better as the series goes on. I think the plot is weak, then halfway through it gets really good, and then the ending is very strong. It's a very strong ending. I will not spoil what happens to these 2 lovebirds, except, well, can I say that? They kind of end up together in a way, is all I can say. And of course there's fanfiction, you know, there's fanfiction, so you can do whatever you want. But yes, I strongly recommend the series if you want butlers, if you want maids, if you want Onichan and Imoto dynamic, if you want early 2000s emo goth punk kind of vibes, if you want horror, it's a very good horror atmosphere. If you want action, if you want like that very goofy, kind of silly kind of humor, there's definitely a lot of humor in the series. The humor is the one thing I'm not a fan of in this series. I'm not a fan of the characters being so callous when another character dies. It kind of takes away the gravity of when there is a character death, and they just kind of brush it off. That kind of, I'm not a big fan of that kind of humor, that kind of callousness. But I can look past that for the plot, and most importantly, for the character dynamics. Knowing that sibling ships aren't popular anymore, I don't expect there to be any more than 3 fans of them as a ship. Unfortunately, that's about right. There's like maybe 14 fanfictions featuring them, an archive of our own, and I am so sad. There needs to be more. There needs to be more fanfiction of these 2, romantically. There has to be. Why would you not, like, her entire thing is she's obsessed with him. Like, why would you not? Like, the shipping opportunities are right there! They are robots, but they're also siblings, which is hot. Like, do they share code? Or do they share blood or oil or whatever? No, but I don't care. Look at this dynamic. This is a big brother helping his awkward little sister. Let me scooch over again. So many pictures. I have so many pictures. Helping his little sister. It's very sweet. even though Sin may not have the most wholesome of intentions. But anyway, they make a good couple. Maybe because she's so obsessed with him that they won't do more of it? What? No! Since they already get it. Ugh. That is a short-sighted way of thinking of it. No! Because she is obsessed with him is when you need to have more yandere fanfiction. Let's see, I mean, I understand they're callous, they're robots, but here's the thing, they also experience the whole range of emotions. They fall in love, they mourn the dead, you know, they get nervous, they get scared, they get trauma, you know, they get jealous, they get obsessive, you know, they get hungry, they get murderous, they get lustful, they get all these emotions. And yet, when, like, some characters just, like, die for comedic effect, I find it kind of takes me out of the story a bit, you know? It takes me out of the story a little bit. But the point is, Sin-chan is perfect and can do no wrong. She's perfect despite the yandere tendencies and the evil virus telling her to eat people and kill people, and that she skinned her owner, ? But also Tessa mistreated her, so I can't really blame Sin. Oh, in case you're wondering how it's spelled, it's C-Y-N. It's not S-I-N, it's C-Y-N. There's that kind of early 2000s vibe. Why are they named after letters? I don't know. I think it's because something to do with their serial number. So like N, and then you have a string of numbers, and then C-Y-N, and then you have a string of numbers. Why is Uzi named Uzi? I don't know. I think the writer just thought it was cool. I will say there are some definite plot holes in the story for sure. You just have to overlook them. It's very short. It's only 8 episodes, and they really should have made it at least 2 seasons. Like one half for exploring the lore and the other half for exploring the horror, and instead it's really crunched together in 8 episodes, but it's still a very good 8 episodes. But after I want to say episode 4, the halfway point is when it starts to get really, really good. Yeah, I do like Uzi. Don't think I don't like her. I like her and N. They're a cute couple. But Sin and N, mwah, mwah. Cultured, beautiful, Oni-chan and Moto. How can you get any better than that? It is a classic incestuous dynamic. Can't get any better than that. So they're my number 1 ship. But I also ship N with Uzi and Jay and pretty much most of the women, most of the maid androids. But yeah, it's a good series. I'm not as enthusiastic as I was about it like 2 weeks ago, because I've already seen it 3 times at this point. I watch it in the morning when I do my exercise. But it is still a very good series. Unfortunately, because I got into it so late, there's not really much new merch, so I can't really contribute to the series, because the series is over. But like I said, there is that manga series Kickstarter going on, and I do know there's like plushies out, there's like keychains out, there's like the vinyl soundtrack out, which I do want to get eventually, because I want to support the series, and I hope maybe if it does well enough, then they will do more Murder Drone stuff. God forbid a live action series, because this would not work as live action, but, you know, a manga, a movie, another series, I don't know. One can only hope. So yeah, that is my my spiel. And even when N and Sin-chan are pitted against each other in the heat of battle, N still doesn't want to hurt his precious little sister until he has to, and that is a perfect tragedy. Mwah! Very good. And that's my speech about why I like murder drones. That's my speech. You should check it out. But yeah, that is my speech. I don't think I've done a free chat like this since I did one talking about the Amazing Digital Circus with Jax. And then I believe I also did one way back when about angel dust, crypto. I believe you even clipped portions of that. Just send me the link sometime to that clip you did of me talking about angel dust. I only really do a free chat about a series if I really, really like it. But yeah, I remember the angel dust one, the angel dust free chat video was kind of a turning point. That was when the brainworms really got a hold of me. And 2 years later, I am still making my Otome game, which is not out yet, but hopefully it will soon. I don't want to say I don't want to give a time frame, but hopefully soon. If we can fix the most recent problems. I feel like I didn't like Jax until the most recent episode. He's insane. He's great. What? I mean, he is insane, but I've loved Jax since episode 1. Again, Michael Kovac. Anything with Michael Kovac, do you sense a recurring theme here? Angel Dust, Jax, and do you sense a recurring theme? The recurring theme is Michael Kovac. But all of his characters are great. He's a good actor. He's a good actor. He's a good actor. And it's not my fault that all of his characters are cute twinks. I think I got a good clip for this one too. Okay, good. I'm glad you got something clip-worthy. I want to see it. But yeah, unfortunately, when I was just trying to look up, I'm innocent, a little old me, I was just trying to look up some good Sin and N ship art. And of course, all I found was a bunch of stupid aunties on Twitter. Bleh! Wait, where's my tongue? Let me get it out. Blah, blah. A bunch of stupid aunties on Twitter who wanna rain on my parade and ruin the joy of an incestuous fanfic, fan art, fan pairing, blah, whatever. It's out there, but it's hard to find. Found some good spicy art of the two of them, N and Sin, you mean? Also, I've been having trouble trying to figure out what is the ship name for N and Sin. Is it CYNN? NCYN? I like cinnamon buns. That's really cute. Look at how you spell it. That's so cute. I prefer cinnamon bun. That's just a cute ship name. There's cinnamon buns. That's just really cute. I'm gonna call them that from now on. The cinnamon, huh? I think it's really cute. Send me that spicy fanfic or the spicy fan art of Sin and oh, Jax. That's that's cool too. But that's not the topic of conversation. Not the topic of conversation, but I will accept spicy Jax art. I have a friend who already sends me all the spicy Jax art she comes across. And it's like, yay! Fujo's unite! Yeah, I hope this has been informative for all of you, and I hope you all go check out Murder Drones. Your Jax fanfiction is truly evil and upsetting. 10/10 wouldn't change a thing. Why, thank you. Commissions are open. You know, if you do want to commission me, they are open. I do want to write something for N and Sin. I just haven't gotten to it because I've just been so busy with the game. It's kind of like, it's really hard to have creative energy elsewhere when I've been so busy trying to solve all these technical issues and work with the programmer and trying to figure out how to solve this, that, and the other thing. It's very hard to figure out. I'm not a programmer, I'm just a Fujoshi! But yes. I feel like it is my civic duty at this point to write some good incestuous Onichi Moto, me the butler, Sin and N fanfiction, and of course, Sin tops. Of course. Goes without saying. But anyway, so that's my entire stream. I don't have anything else I had planned to talk about. I have nothing else. really, I can't show you any clips from the show because I don't want to get blocked. But I strongly recommend you check it out over at Glitch. Oh, yeah, good evening. Good evening. Good night, everybody. I hope you had fun. I'm sorry that today was a shorter live stream than usual, but because Monday was extra long, I hope that makes up for it. Yes. So go check it out, and don't forget to tell everybody that Sin and Ann make the best couple ever. Now, let's see. Saturday, I'm gonna be streaming Aitori. Next week, I'm gonna be streaming Sankaku Renai. Next Wednesday. And then next Saturday, I have 2 streams. I'm participating in a festival. 2 different game developers approached me and they said, hey, we want you to play our games. So I have 2 of those games scheduled for next week. I have Okami, and I have Day After Day. Both of these were because the developers reached out to me and wanted me to play the game, so we're gonna do that next week. But for this week, all we have left is Aitori, something nice and wintry with the colder weather, and I hope you enjoy it. Please do more talking streams. I like hearing you yap. I'm glad you liked it. I will do more talking streams soon. I don't know when, but soon. I do want to, at some point. Maybe when the game is all done. But for now, I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed. Please go check out Murder Drones, and I'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye!